Chatfield, I'd like to introduce Mr. John Cline.
Well, thank you. And evaluating David is no easy task. One must find themselves pondering pedantic subjects.
Nice.
I was immersed in your story, and I think the best indication I can give of the overall is the fact that I kind of forgot that this was fiction and was very much beginning to hope into the story and hope into their situation. And being a foster child myself, there are unique connections to the story that I very much appreciate, though by no means is it analog. I will say you invoked many unique emotions. In this particular speech, that was the goal, was to invoke many different emotions and tell us a story that also had a particular point with the major parts of story, setting, context, plot, conflict, etc. So a couple other good things I'd say. One is, I really like the way that you used monologue, the monologue of Nadia among herself and dealing with her scar, and also the monologue of Simona of saying, am I betraying my own family? You actually juxtaposed this a little bit to create a conflict between their two monologues, meaning that we hope that one of them suffers and does not win out, because that would mean that they wouldn't meet, and if they did meet, that they wouldn't succeed. So I thought that was a really interesting kind of narrative play that you did. I think that as far as what was the point, I thought was very interesting as well, in that you stated that beyond the surface, right, what we think if somebody goes out looking for a child, we expect them to kind of look for the prettiest, cutest, etc. in any situation. But in your situation, you said that, it almost in our wounds, it is almost in our shared weakness, in our vulnerability, that sometimes we make the deepest connection. And that would bring me to a point of a couple things that you could improve on, I thought. One, I felt that there was a tremendous opportunity for, to leave us with a climax at the end. And specifically around that point where I loved how you had the introduction, there's the scar, here's my scar, right? We're getting the visuals on that. And you kind of left it just with a statement of like welcome or something like that, which really left it to us to translate the power behind that. But if you would have had a statement that says, I've always thought that it is in our deepest wounds that we find our strongest connections. Let's go home, right? If you give us something that we can chew on, then you release us at the height.
You want that Hollywood ending.
Yeah, I did. I'm a, what's his name, Fuddrucker or Bruckheimer, one of those guys. I think a couple minor issues. One, you could use some pacing in your voice. Let us slow down and digest when it gets really meaty. When she's in the bed and she's struggling. Don't lead us there quickly, right? And then take us back up again when we see and there's only 4 families, right? Use the pacing to help us emotionally on that roller coaster, right? And maybe use a cup for your water, so you don't have to squeeze your bottle. Well, great job. Thank you.